Watch them gleam and glow, silver and gold.
YouTube, what's going on? Welcome to the latest episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. As always, a quick thank you for taking some time out of your day to check out the latest video. And hell yeah, for being the best damn community here on YouTube, without a doubt. First off, I just want to take a second to remind everyone of the St. Jude auction that my Silver Journey and I will be hosting on the 5th of November here on my channel. The pregame show will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and the auction is going to start at 7:30 p.m. sharp. And I'd like to give a shout out to all the amazing stackers in the community who donated items for the auction. Without their incredible generosity, this would have never come to fruition, seriously. Now, to make it all work, we're going to need bidders, right? So on November 5th, we need a bunch of bidders to make this thing a success. So please be sure to stop by and check out some of the amazing stuff that we've got up for bid that was donated by your community members, and help make a difference for a child with cancer in the process. 100% of the proceeds are going to St. Jude. We're not keeping a single dime, and we're going to have a blast doing it, so I hope to see you there. All right, moving on. When we first started stacking, most of us went into it for the long hold, right? It's a long-term hold. Now, whether that was for retirement, investing in something when the time was right, like real estate, or just handing it down to our kids, we all had a reason to do it. Now, many of us, not all of us, not many of us, had the intention to sell it at some point, myself included. But with the recent price increase in both gold and silver, well, an interesting problem began to evolve, and it's one that should concern us if we're ready to sell, whether it's for an emergency or just time to cash in, but it could definitely be an issue. Now, I'm going to go over what that is and a whole hell of a lot more, so make sure you stay tuned. All right, we're going to get right on into it. Now, the problem I'm referring to is one of the biggest issues we could run into when we're ready to sell our silver, and it pertains to when silver is at a price spike, kind of like it is now. That problem? Yeah, finding a dealer who's going to buy it from you. Now, I've been talking to some local shops here in North Carolina, and it's a fairly widespread issue. When silver price is elevated, some dealers pull back from buying, either a little bit or completely. Now, for example, I was talking to Lou over at Raleigh Gold Coin Dealers last week, and he flatly stated, hey, look, customer buying is down and selling is way up. But he's at the point where he knew that the recent $54 silver spike wasn't going to last. We all did. And he was hesitant to buy up a bunch of metals that were likely going to drop at some point, and they did. In other words, he didn't want to be sitting on a bunch of silver that he bought at the highs, only to have to sell at the lows, or worse yet, send off to the refinery for an even bigger loss. Even if he was buying the stuff well back a spot, which would have definitely been the case, make no mistake, the risk was on him as it is for all coin shops. Now, I can hear some of you guys saying, that's not our problem, it's theirs. Well, yeah, yes and no. As stackers, we're used to the concept of buying and holding long term. That's what we do. But that's not an option for coin shops, so it is an issue for them. Their livelihood depends on buying and selling immediately. They don't want to sit on stuff. That's what pays the bills. That's what pays for the brick and mortar. If they're stuck with product, it's not working. It's killing their business. Now, how it affects us is completely different. And here it is. What if we're ready for that long-awaited retirement moment? Here we are. It's been years. I've been stacking like crazy. And we're ready to cash in. Or worse yet, what if we suddenly have an emergency and we have to go and liquidate some of our metals to help out? Well, if prices are spiking like they are now, then we may have a problem. You got to find a dealer to buy your stuff. And all that planning we did just blows up in our faces. Now we're stuck with a tangible asset. That's great, awesome, but no one to take it from us. And we'll have to bust our butts trying to make a private sale with someone, or God forbid, we pack it all up and sell it to one of those lowball big box dealers like SD Bullion or APMEX. So the dreams of silver padding our retirement could go up in flames, at least temporarily, and prices stabilize, and the corrections take place. Now, keep in mind, this is very likely a temporary problem. Silver and gold prices will eventually stabilize again, and new floors will be set. I mean, I'm unfortunately 95% sure the days of silver in the $20 range, yeah, they're gone forever. We're looking at a new floor likely in the mid-30s, at worst mid-30s, and even that's probably a lowball estimate. Probably looking at more like the low to mid-40s, but trying to sell during a price spike, yeah, could definitely throw off our timing, no doubt. So with this potential silver problem, is it the same with gold? Again, not necessarily, or likely not as much of an issue anyway. Now, as we all know, with gold being a monetary metal, it's what investors flock to when the markets are down, or geopolitical issues threaten their finances. They buy up gold, and when things settle down and the markets recover, bam, they sell it back. Silver, on the other hand, well, it's more of an industrial metal. And when investors think of silver, they're thinking of the utilitarian use of it and how it's far more plentiful than gold. And that's why we have such a major price difference between the two. It's going to be easier to liquidate your gold than it would be for your silver when prices go up like they are now. Dealers will just about always buy gold. It's going to be back of spot during that spike, but they'll most likely take it off your hands. It just has more financial viability than silver.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
So before we close this video out, just a couple of quick notes. Number one, not all dealers have slowed or stopped buying, but some shops are just too small to accommodate a bunch of people trying to unload their metals all at once. Again, this isn't the case across the country where all dealers are saying no, but a lot of the smaller shops are saying, hey, I'm just not buying right now. Number two, the recent price spike was not organic. It wasn't organic growth. It was spurred on by overbuying mixed with a little side of FOMO. And a lot of those buyers took profits on the 14th of October recently, which is one of the major reasons why you saw that recent price drop. Number three, lessons were learned from 1980 and 2011. Back in 1980, people were lined up around the block, and the dealers bought it all up to the ceiling. Even Grandma was out with her sterling silver. They bought it all. Not everybody, not all the shops are doing that right now. Number four, during normal, quote-unquote, normal price ranges, selling will not be an issue. We just have to hope that it's not spiking when we're ready, because we could run into the issue that we're seeing here, where a good number of dealers have stopped buying, and we're ready to sell. We got nowhere to go. Now, once prices stabilize and new floors are set, dealers are going to feel a lot more comfortable buying up your metals. And lastly, number five, according to analysts, a correction is coming, regardless. But is it going to recover and continue to rise after the correction? That's the question. Was that Tuesday drop the correction? I honestly don't know. I don't think it was. But all we can do is wait and see if silver climbs back over 50 again. It is holding steady in the $48 range, so it's not inconceivable that we'll see that climb again, and probably very soon. Now, again, we don't know if that big, quote-unquote, big correction is coming. I think we've got another one coming, and then it'll go back to rising again. Again, we'll see. All right. There you have it, guys. So right now, selling your silver can be a little bit on the wonky side. But if you look hard enough, you'll find somebody to buy it from you. If you're selling gold, that shouldn't be an issue at all, really. Just don't expect to get spot price no matter what kind of gold you're selling. Now, dealers shying away from buying is an issue we've discussed in this community for years. And we always wonder in a crisis or elevated spot prices, who's going to buy your metals? It's a legitimate concern, but one that we shouldn't have to worry about once prices kind of stabilize again. Right now, everything's just so volatile that even the dealers are hesitating to go all in. Think about it. The last thing they want to do is buy high and experience a huge downward swing in price, and then guess what? They're stuck with a bunch of metals they'll either have to sit on or take a loss. Neither which is conducive to running a coin shop. So, what are your thoughts on all this? Do you guys think the recent price correction was the only one and it's getting ready to go up again? Or do you think another major correction is on the way and metals are going to stall a little bit? I'll be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. You guys know I love going through them, so make sure you sound off. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And if you made it this far, yeah, I'm just as shocked as you are. But I'll definitely catch up with you in the next episode. But in the meantime, ooh yeah, you know what's up.
What do you want to do with your life?
I want to stack.
Damn right. Get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. And be sure to catch me in my silver journey this Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Stacker's Corner. If you need a link, just look under my post. We have a great time at the show, and we've got a great crowd, so why not pop in and see what we're all about? But until then, I am out of here. Peace, folks. Have a great week ahead. Take care.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.